Film Club.
Are we going to watch Guardians 2 together then? Do like a... Let's all go and watch it.
Thank you very much for joining us for one more round, and welcome back to another episode of Film Club. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Harrison, and to my right, as always, is Annie Donaldson.
Hello. So can you just answer my question first? Can we do a thing where we watch it?
Every single week in Film Club, we invite you guys along at home to watch a film with us. This week, we have been watching Guardians of the Galaxy. Do you know what? I almost said 2, because you've been saying Guardians of the Galaxy 2 to me. I almost said Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So do you want to give us the rundown on Guardians of the Galaxy?
We are watching it, aren't we?
Yeah, we can watch it.
All right, thanks. So Guardians of the Galaxy is it was a Marvel film made in 2014 about a group of losers, as Pete Quill puts it.
Pretty harsh.
He does call themselves losers, but in the sense where they've all lost something. No, a group of losers who magically find their way together. It's a bit like, I tell you what it's like, it's a bit like Usual Suspects, anyone has seen it. It's a group of people who find themselves in the same place, and then the fight against Rajj Guy, who's got a vengeance for no apparent reason, who's got hold of... It's all bases around the Infinity Stone, which is power, purple?
Yeah, I think it's power. They mix it all up in the comics to the films.
I think it's power anyway. So yeah, it's about a group of people who like kind of get pushed together and don't necessarily have any superpowers as such. It's just a lot of aliens, and it's about them saving the universe as every superhero does. It's an unusual one, isn't it? Because it's like it is a superhero film. We've got like Iron Man. Yes, he doesn't have superpowers. He's just pretty intelligent. You got Thor, who genuinely is a god. You've got Captain America, who's a super soldier. You've got the Hulk, who's like Rajj, and you've got you've got Doctor Strange, who's got he knows how to change dimensions, and you know
he can do this.
That's time. No, you got all these people who have essentially superpowers besides a couple, and then you just got these guys who you look at Quill. He's just smart, kind of cocky, kind of guy. He's got his guns. You got Drac, who's just a bit strong, he's a bit hard man. You got Gamora, who's born as a machine, so she's just like an assassin. You got Rocket, who's just intellectual genius, who's good with guns. You got Groot, who's probably the more superpower of them all, because you don't really know what he does, because he's like an alien.
It's difficult to say like what's a superpower and what's not, because you don't know what their races
defines
are like.
The definition.
I guess Rocket's a little different because he doesn't have a race. Like he says, he was made in our labs.
Yeah.
But this is really, really kind of hard to approach, I feel, for Film Club. And that's because, like we said earlier, this is our first Marvel film. Yeah,
so the intention was we're going to go and start from the start with Iron Man. Start from the start is horrible.
Yeah, like we really wanted to start with the first Iron Man film and just work our way through every single one of the Marvel films as they came out, because I think that's a fascinating way of looking at how the studio developed, how Hollywood developed as well, and how the story progresses. But we like, with Guardians of the Galaxy 2 coming out, we just kind of had to do.
Yeah, we want
really excited for it.
A good point actually is Rick Masters, who came on Popcornography.
Shout out to Popcornography, Mr. Masters, of the Rickless kind.
We were on American Psycho, and after we met up for a few drinks, and he said, what's your favourite Marvel film? And it took a while for us all to think about it. And I was like, do you like Captain America's? But I think maybe this one. And yeah, I'm quite glad we're doing that. I really enjoyed it.
So what makes this your favourite Marvel film?
There's a lot to it. And like you said, it's hard that we haven't done Marvel films before.
Yeah.
I
just kicked my
microphone. Whoops, sorry.
Sorry if that was a really loud knock. Bang. I kicked my microphone.
There's a few factors. I think I've got two things here. I've wrote a few notes, and I try to avoid using notes so I can talk shite off my head, as opposed to writing shite.
Pretty good at talking shite off our heads.
Yeah. So for me, there's two things. There's one thing that Marvel's done exceptionally well, and it's really, really, really shows in this film. And the second is quite exclusive to this film.
Okay.
So I'll go start with the first one.
I think I know what the second one is.
Yeah, it's music, obviously.
Damn it.
So the first one is the casting. And I had to check here. I was walking to here to meet you.
Yeah.
And the casting director is called Sarah Finn.
Right.
I was checking her out and I was like...
Has she done any other Marvel films?
That's the thing. She's done pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
She's not only done that, she's done Tron Legacy, which I love, to cast Olivia Wilde. Yes, nice one. But more apparent is Kick-Ass. Superb casting.
That's really good casting, actually. Really odd unusual casting,
Even
but
like
really good.
even Nicolas Cage, for fuck's sake, you know.
Yeah.
And then you have Dredd. I thought Dredd was like Carl Urban as Dredd. Superb.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh mate, watch it. It's fucking good. Anyway, so that's just 3 of the films that I like picked outside of the Marvel films. We look at all the Marvel films, like how good.
Yeah, like the one thing they get, it's casting.
Absolutely.
Like, has there ever been a one of Marvel's like mainstay heroes that have cast and everyone's gone, don't know about that.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, maybe people have gone, don't know about that. But when you see the film, everyone's totally on board with it.
Yeah. I mean, look at what was it when they were cast? I think it might be in this one actually when the Guardians came out.
Oh yeah, people weren't on board for what's he called, Peter Quill.
Oh, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. People weren't sure about Chris Pratt at first.
Which is interesting because I read, it was in Wikipedia, I read that Sarah Finn was one of the main people who helped Chris Pratt get the job. She recommended him. James Gunn was a bit like that. James Gunn, the director, was a bit like, Then she arranged a meeting and he was like, shit, you're perfect for this. Which I thought was class. When I think of Chris Pratt now...
She's a talented lady.
Sarah Finn absolutely helped make this Marvel franchise that we know and love. A majority of it we love. I'm joking. Now, if you look at Chris Pratt, you look at stuff like Parks and Recreation, like when he's starting to make a name of himself, he plays Andy Thingy, and he's hilarious. And there's so much of his mannerisms that plays true to many of his films, I think. And this is a really good example of Chris Pratt being himself, but just being like a different kind of character as well. I don't know. It's hard to explain. He's
definitely comfortably within his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So like I'm
not saying he's typecast.
No.
But
he's not, because I think Parks and Rec is a slightly different cast, but he's got a certain twang to the way he delivers stuff. And it fits this script perfectly.
Yes. Yeah, it really does. I mean, he's done many films since. I think he's probably his most out of place film that he's done is maybe Jurassic World.
Jurassic World, where he's just more of a straight kind of action hero.
Serious guy. You know, he plays it well as well. But even if you look at everyone else, I've got everything wrong. We're going to do the 2 major ones. I'm supposed to have everything up here, I'm sorry. The 2 major ones, Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper, considering they're behind, you know...
Yeah, the 2 big voice actors who, again, everyone went, Vin Diesel for Groot.
Yeah.
And then again, totally works. And Bradley Cooper, I don't think you could... I think if you showed someone this film, didn't tell them it was Bradley Cooper...
It does not sound like Bradley Cooper. Yeah.
They wouldn't know. And it totally just like...
Is this there?
Gets the kind of bitter, sarcastic edge that Rocket needs.
Is this there? Yeah, you're right. Is this the first time that both of them have done voice acting and CGI?
Vin Diesel done something else, hadn't he?
Motion picture. He done Riddick.
There's something big that he'd done. Iron Giant.
Oh, no, that was later. That was, I'm sure that was after, was it?
No, Iron Giant's old.
That one? What, the original Iron Giant?
Yeah.
All right, okay, I'll give you that. Oh, is that why they chose him? Because no, that's it. I think I read that. They chose him because he's a voice for Iron Giant and he's like kind of low growls. I'm sure I read an article.
Okay,
I could be wrong.
Sense.
If so, we'll tweet it or something.
I think he'd done something else, but I know that was a big one. And Bradley Cooper, I couldn't name you anything that he's done.
Limitless. Hangover.
No, yeah.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah,
I mean voice actor.
Sorry, yes, I think so. So it was amazing to have their first experience. This. You got like Zoe Saldana.
Yes, yeah.
Zoe Saldana. Avatar.
Yeah.
Like, she's had experience, like, I'm not saying she was CGI, she was just makeup, and fucking great makeup, by the way, for the whole film.
Yes.
Like, look at all the aliens and Nova.
That's the big thing I really love about this is the commitment to practical effects.
Yeah. So you got Zoe Saldana, who's just nails her role. She's got a really good kind of like, there's essence of her Avatar character, and I don't know the Avatar's character.
A little bit, but like again, she's able to vary that enough that you don't really think about it too
much.
Like
a great example is at the end of the film where Peter Quill's on his Awesome Mix Volume 2, and she's like dancing, got that eyes. I was like, great, that's like a whole new dimension to the Gamora that we knew.
Yeah.
Dave Bautista, fucking superb. Like
again, left of field casting. Sorry for you guys, left of field casting, because like he's never acted in anything before. He's a WWE star.
Yeah. Bautista, and he did something else. He was in Spectre. He was
of course.
Spectre, but that
interesting role in Spectre actually as well.
Yeah. So it was like, what the hell?
But this was his first role, wasn't it? And people, weirdly, do you remember when this came out? People were divided on him.
Yeah.
But even after the film came out,
like,
some people hate it.
Really?
Some people hate.
No, I'm sorry.
What's he called? Drax the Destroyer.
I can't see that.
Some people hate. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah. Another great example is Lee Pace, who plays the Raj guy. Ronin, is he called? Romin?
Yeah, and that actually brings us to maybe our first problem with the film.
See, I don't think he's too bad.
But he's forgettable.
As a character, he is. The way he's written, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think the way he does that imposing presence, because Lee Pace did Thranduil.
I think the performance is brilliant.
Yeah.
And again, I like the design of him.
So nothing against you, Lee Pace.
No, not at all. The design's wonderful.
Maybe the way it's written, yeah.
The way it's written is a problem. But like, this is one of the things that when you address a film like this, especially like for Film Club, we have such a huge variety of films going on, we have to kind of talk about this in two ways, which is as a film in its own right and as a Marvel film.
Yeah.
And this is a problem which Marvel have in all their films. They can't do villains for some reason.
They do struggle with villains.
Yeah.
They really do.
But I think
really
for me,
do.
Drax is one that comes the closest to being memorable. I think it's because you get to see some of his like interpersonal relationships with Gamora, Nebula, and Thanos.
Whoa. Not Drax. That's not his name.
Sorry, did I say Drax? Yeah. I meant...
what was he called?
Raj Guy.
Ronin or something.
Ronin.
Is it Ronin?
It's Ronin. Ronin the Inquisitor? Ronin...
Ronan, the Accuser.
Ronan the Accuser.
Yeah. So Ronan, he's got his personal vengeance, but all he knows is he's after vengeance because he doesn't agree with something. He's a defector from the actual, whatever they are, Kree or something? Kree.
Yeah.
He's a guy who goes out there. Who is the best Marvel villain, would you say then?
I think it's Loki, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Like, Loki's the easy one, but like...
Tom Hiddleston, fucking super.
Then in Thor 2, they tried playing around with Loki being a good guy. But Loki, I think, is the best villain so far. Yeah. I hope we get more.
I do. Well, he's going to appear in Thor 3, isn't he? Yeah. So, we've got great casting, absolutely superb casting. And Sarah Finn, hands down, has helped make this Marvel franchise what it is. In terms of the actual film, I think casting is one of the best things that they've done in this film. What
is the best?
Well, you got another thing, what you said is makeup and stuff like that. It's practical effects.
No. You know what the best thing about this film is?
Music.
It's the music.
Yeah, easily. So, I read up on it. Everyone knows this music, it's got the 60s, 70s, like the old school soundtracks and everything like that. Like Ooga Shaka.
Is that 60s, 70s? Because I always call it 80s.
Yeah, I would say 80s.
Is that wrong?
I could be wrong.
Okay.
I know it's around 70s era, so 60s, 70s, 80s, but I remember reading it said 60s, 70s, I was like, I thought it was 80s.
Right, okay.
So, I don't know. It's got Bowie, of course, but you've got the vinyl at home, haven't you? And you play the vinyl, It's nice and going around like, ooh, this is...
Just because we're that hipster.
Mind you, he's got Daft Punk Random Access Memories on his vinyl, which is
a great vinyl.
It's super
really great vinyl.
And maybe like one of my favourites on there is the soundtrack to Inside Llewyn Davies.
Yeah.
Some good stuff. Anyway, I digress. The music is superb. It's really good. Now, what I like about this is it reminds me an awful lot of the our first episode that we did in film called The Martian.
Oh, of course. I didn't even draw that parallel.
Yeah, so...
Which, arguably, this maybe Guardians of the Galaxy started off an awkward trend in cinema, which I think The Martian handles well.
Did The Martian come out 2015?
Yes.
Okay, so this came before The Martian?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I know you want to talk about The Martian. The one thing that I want to highlight and say, shame on you. Rub the finger. Shame none. Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad tried to ape the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack and screwed it up. And whereas the nice about the Guardians soundtrack, every song that's used has like a place. Yeah. It feels like it was appropriate. They clearly planned to have that music used from the beginning.
Well,
and then Suicide Squad, side note, didn't. Shame on you. Back to you.
I read how this came about, and James Gunn apparently listened to all the major hits of those years, and he was just like, when you played the film, you want to hear a particular song. I think the best one is do 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 hey hey, which is one of the best intros ever. The editing on that, by the way, how he's like kicking the puddles to the beat and stuff like that, and he's got and Chris Pratt's like
singing into the little rap.
One of the best things, yeah. Great editing, by the way. So so James Gunn sat down and do that. It does have another side to it. Now, like The Martian, it has the soundtrack that everyone knows and loves, the original one, which is diegetic sound.
Yes.
Where you listen to it, it's on a set. He's got his tape on, it plays, and it's Chris Pratt on his headphones listening like that. You got the other part of it, which is Tyler Bates, who does the non-diegetic sound. And a great example of this is, you'll see, is when they're shooting into the ship.
But you won't hear it, so sorry.
Yeah. But you'll know the scene I'm referring to, sorry. Where they're shooting into the ship, and it's where they go in the ship and they go into the hull. and it loses its wings. By the way, can I just point out this reference here? Phantom Menace, Anakin Skywalker in the Naboo starship. It's going in and it shoots at people as it goes around.
Do you mean, sorry, just that bit of diegetic stuff, do you actually mean when the whole ship has crashed?
No, well, is that what I'm saying? The non-diegetic sound is like appears in parts, and I know that there's a part where they're shooting the ship.
Right.
Then it's got that like kind of like the Marvel sound. You know, you got the strings come in,
right,
you got
yes,
the horns.
yes, sorry.
The very thing that a lot of Marvel sounds got horns in it. So yeah, you have Tyler Bates who did the non-diegetic stuff. Now, interestingly, we referred to a few episodes ago, about when I was watching Every Frame a Painting, and I was watching about Marvel. The Marvel, the sound and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And how Marvel plays it safe with sound. You don't have any recognisable stuff. Now, Tyler Bates is one of the... No, sorry. In this video, it referenced, Tony Zhao referenced 300, how they remade the sound for it. And there was a plagiarism.
This is stuff about using reference audio. So people will often take music from other films to originally score their films.
And recreate
This happens all the time in Hollywood. They'll take music from a different film, score their film with it, and then the director kind of gets attached to that and will tell the guy who's actually in charge of scoring the film, basically, make it like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Every Frame a Painting has a wonderful, wonderful video essay on the whole thing.
Please watch it. It's superb. It's really, really, really good. So it was my cousin that showed me that, not you. Anyway, so 300 is one of the videos referenced in Tony Zhao's Every Frame a Painting's video. And Tyler Bates does music for it. So I was thinking, this is the guy that kind of does all this. Maybe that's why it's not memorable.
Yeah.
Mind you, again, I read again, when James Gunn was, finding all the music to put in the film, he said to Tyler Bates, make some music before we actually film the film. So much like a really good indie film with Shane Carruth called Upstream Colour, wrote the music first, or some of the music first, to film to it.
That's
which
cool.
I thought that was really, really interesting to do, especially with someone like Tyler Bates, who's got a history of 300, where there was some sort of plagiarism claim on that. Now, that was really cool. Going back to the Martian thing,
Yeah.
we have some great music, there's some great non-diegetic sound, some diegetic sound, works really well. We also have the use of low thirds, much like the Martian did. But
Yes.
I think this is an interesting point. The Martian, whilst it was brought after, it's a film to be serious. You're there with Matt Damon, sorry, I nearly did that. Because I sometimes get those two mixed up.
I do it all the time.
So Matt Damon, you're there with him, experiencing it, because you've got the GoPros. With this, you're watching a superhero film, so you get that immersion in a superhero film. I don't think you've got much before, besides maybe Iron Man and his helmet. But you've got this sense of immersion, but you're watching a superhero film, so when it comes up with a low third, you're taken out of that immersive experience. It's not bad.
I think it works in this. It
works so well.
They also hold back on those low thirds. Whereas The Martian, the complaint was I didn't need to know Dolores' name, who operated satellites or something.
Still got a thing for that.
This is totally none of that. I think it happens maybe once or twice.
It's really
when they
well
fly
done.
into nowhere, you see a little thing pops up saying
Yeah, that
nowhere.
was cool. That was really cool. So I quite like that. I like seeing having two different films that we can compare and both have different outcomes, different ways of using this kind of, in this case, diegetic or immersive experience.
If we're gonna compare, we have to at least talk about last week's episode, which is Turbo Kid, which both harp on that kind of 80s or maybe 60s, 70s, 80s aesthetic
80s,
and vibe. For me, Guardians nails it better.
Yeah, but you
Guardians,
look at the budget behind it. So.
Oh yeah, but even the way they were more subtle about it.
Yeah.
There's a slightly more subtle way of doing things. In a Guardians, Peter Quill's whole thing is that he was plucked out of the 80s on Earth. Yeah. So he's only got these little bits of memorabilia, and that's why he's so obsessed about it, because it's a link back to his mother. There's a character reason for it. And then he's got this it's often played off for humor. Turbo Kid, great, stylish, but maybe not as doesn't handle it maybe as slick as Guardians does.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's another little thing I'd just like to jump into, which is quite cool. Besides Thor, I don't think you get much grounds in a Marvel film for creativity and design of, say, ships, characters, weapons and stuff like that. I think Thor, yes, you get the, especially in the second one, you get the Dark Elves, whatever they're called, you get Thor's own kind of ships, you get, stuff like that. A few things here and there, like Avengers, for example. This, you think you've got Nova, you've got the Kree, you've got the Ravagers, you've got all the other stuff. You've got so many different kind of guns used, all the alien races on Nova, whatever it's called, Prime, I think it's called. I just think it's really cool. It must have been a wet dream for their designers.
It's awesome. And one of my favorite things about this film, which I think is quite underappreciated, is that little moment towards the end where the huge ship from
the Kree warship, it's called the Dark Aster.
From Rajgai, the destroyer.
The Dark Aster, yeah.
And that's crashing into the planet. and all the little Nova Corps ships come alongside it and like clink together.
Ah, that was so cool.
To form a huge net.
It's one of my little favourites because it's like, yeah, it's come on Unity.
Because it's like it's taking what could be a really silly looking design of those ships, but giving it some sort of function.
Yeah.
And that's a really difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And like that Nova Corps symbol's been around for ages.
That's it.
And to like
the star thing.
The star thing.
Oh, I never knew that.
To take that Nova Corps symbol, make it into a ship, and give it some sort of functional reasons to why it's been there. It's just a great world building technique.
There you go. Well played. Whoever made that, maybe it was James Gunn. Maybe he had some sort of input.
We'll credit James Gunn. Doesn't matter.
It was. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought, I think there's so many factors to Guardians and so much we could talk about. But I think there's, you have the design and stuff like that, the little design features. But the two main things for me is just casting, which is nailed, and music. Music, which is just smashed. It's got this whole kind of feel to it, which is why it was such a what do you call it? It's not a sleeper hit. Sleeper hit's when over time it gets better, isn't it?
You mean like a cult?
No, it's like it was such a surprise how well it did.
Oh yeah. Completely. This people didn't expect this to be good. I remember when this was first announced, and everyone was going, "That's probably going to be the first Marvel failure." No one knew because no one knew who Guardians of the Galaxy were. I mean, people roughly knew maybe who they were. Anyone who says to you when you start talking about Guardians of the Galaxy that they read Guardians of the Galaxy comic books before this film came out, they are full of shit. No one was reading Guardians of the Galaxy. People knew like Groot and Rocket Raccoon, like in passing, they turn up in other books and stuff. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy is one of Marvel's biggest franchises, and it's getting its own game this year or next year. I can't remember, from Telltale. It's like revived their comic book series. They've turned up in like the animated series of stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy is now one of their big. It's the same thing that happened with Iron Man. Like Iron Man wasn't a big Marvel character before Iron Man happened.
Yeah.
And the same thing now happened for Guardians of the Galaxy because they let somebody come onto a property that didn't have too much value beforehand, play around with it, be more creative than like that kind of stranglehold Hollywood sometimes has on directors. Let them do what they want to do with it, and it ends up being this really unique, fun, personal film that like James Gunn was the only person who could have made this type of film.
Yeah, but considering you went from something like Super, shut up crime, that was amazing. Yeah.
But one thing I want to just check in on, as I said earlier, you have to consider this as a film and as a Marvel film. As a Marvel film, this is brilliant.
This is one of the best.
This is one of the best Marvel films by a leap and a mile. It's
got its own kind of thing. It can carry on its own easily, and then it can carry on the franchise.
Yep.
I would be really interested when Infinity War comes back and how these interact with the other.
Yeah, because like when this originally happened, everyone was like, okay, we'll do Guardians of the Galaxy. It'll be a one-off. It'll be like whatever, even if it fails, doesn't really matter. But no one really thought there was going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Or involved in Infinity War.
Yeah, so which is really, really impressive. But as a film, it's good. Like as a film, if we're talking about, look at all of the other stuff we've talked about past couple of weeks, talked about Bullet. If we were to go back through our back catalogue, we've done things like Raging Bull. Like as a film, it's good.
Wonderful
but
Life.
This is if you're gonna make these sort of big explodey blockbusters, make them like this.
Practical effects. Don't rely on CGI unless it's Avatar.
The odd time actually where they do rely on CGI, it makes me cringe. Like when they're going into the prison and they square up against a guy before Groot sticks his finger up his nose. That guy is so CGI. They get away with it with Groot and Rocket pretty much most of the time. They kind of get with those guys. Very so often
Rocket's animation's really good.
Just kind of slips into the wrong realm.
You're right
uncanny.
There. Good example.
But no, as a whole, this film has so much personality, so much going for it. It's awesome. I want to see like the rest of the Marvel universe be this unique.
Yeah. Which it hasn't really been, has it? Look at the new Spider-Man. I know they've got to kickstart that, but it's got... Well, it's got that guy in it.
It does have that guy in it. So, if you want to talk to us about Guardians of the Galaxy, let us know either in the comments below what you thought, or you can hit us up on Twitter. Next week,
we are going to do, speaking of Bradley Cooper... Ooh. Yeah, he doesn't know this.
I don't know this.
So Bradley Cooper, what was he going to do? And I was like, you know what? We haven't thought of a film next week, so I did it. Well, we're going there.
When we're doing this next week, we'll be back from America.
And all tanned, and I'll be sunburned.
Probably very, very red.
So yeah, hopefully a really good film, if you agree. Bradley Cooper and who's the Hunger Games? Why do I not know her name?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes, Silver Linings Playbook.
Are we?
Yeah.
That is awesome. I've not seen Silver Linings Playbook. I've been meaning to watch it for ages. Great reviews. Apparently, this is like one of the things that really kickstarted her career. I'm interested.
Silver Linings Playbook.
I'll see you guys next week. I'm excited.
Cheers very much.
Good call. Good call.